The Mahabharata tells of a dice game, but it was not really a dice game. It was an assassination attempt disguised as entertainment, and it destroyed the most powerful family in the world. The chess match from hell that started the apocalypse. Shakuni, the uncle of the Kauravas, was the mastermind, and his motivation was not loyalty to his nephew Duryodhana. It was revenge so deep, so patient, so meticulously crafted that it makes every revenge story ever written look like amateur hour. Here is the backstory most people never hear. Shakuni was the prince of Gandhara. When his sister Gandhari was married to Dhritarashtra, the blind prince of Hastinapura, it was supposed to be a great alliance. But there are versions of the story that say Gandhari was first married to a goat as a ritual to cancel an astrological defect. Then the goat was killed, and she was given to Dhritarashtra. When the Kuru family found out that Gandhari was technically a widow, having been married to the goat first, they were enraged. In retaliation, they imprisoned Gandhari's entire family, the royal house of Gandhara, and starved them. 100 princes of Gandhara, Shakuni's brothers, slowly dying of starvation in a Hastinapura dungeon. As they wasted away, the prisoners made a decision. They would pool their meager rations so that one person would survive. One person to carry the revenge. They chose Shakuni. Shakuni watched his brothers die one by one so that he alone could live. And as each brother died, Shakuni made a promise. Every death would be repaid. His father, the king of Gandhara, before dying, told Shakuni to make dice from his bones. The king's bones were said to be enchanted. They would always obey Shakuni's command. The dice would always roll in his favor. So Shakuni carried dice made from his dead father's bones and used them to dismantle the family that had destroyed his. Every move Shakuni made for decades was calculated toward one goal: the complete annihilation of the Kuru dynasty. He fed Duryodhana's jealousy of the Pandavas. He encouraged every bad decision. He whispered poison into every ear, and when the time was right, he suggested the dice game. The game was held in a specially built assembly hall. Yudhishthira, the Pandava king, could not refuse a direct challenge. That was the Kshatriya code. Shakuni rolled the enchanted dice. He won every single round. First, Yudhishthira lost his wealth, then his kingdom, then his army, then his brothers, one by one, then himself. And finally, goaded by Shakuni into one more roll, one more chance to win it all back, Yudhishthira staked Draupadi, his wife, the queen, and lost. What followed, Draupadi's humiliation in the court, Dushasana dragging her by her hair, the attempted disrobing, was all Shakuni's design. He did not just want to defeat the Pandavas. He wanted to create an injury so deep, so humiliating, so unforgivable, that war would become inevitable. Because war between the Pandavas and Kauravas would destroy the Kuru dynasty entirely. Both sides would annihilate each other, which is exactly what happened. The Kurukshetra war killed almost every warrior on both sides. The Kaurava 100 brothers, all dead. Most of the Pandava army, dead. Drona, dead. Karna, dead. Bhishma, dead. The dynasty that had imprisoned and starved Shakuni's family was effectively wiped from the earth. Shakuni himself died in the war, killed by Sahadeva, the youngest Pandava. But by then, his mission was complete. Every Kaurava brother was dead or dying. The dynasty was finished. His father's bones had rolled their last roll, and they had won. The Mahabharata is not just a story about good versus evil. It is a story about how a single act of cruelty, the imprisonment of Gandhari's family, set off a chain of revenge that consumed the entire world. Shakuni played the longest game in mythology. He waited decades, he sacrificed his own life, and he succeeded completely. The next time you think someone is just a minor character in someone else's story, remember Shakuni, the puppet master who destroyed an empire with a pair of dice made from his father's bones. Subscribe for more stories that prove the Mahabharata is the most complex narrative